So I had stuff in my mailbox on Thursday, and I started taking stuff Friday on my way to Denmark. So when I left that appointment, though, we went to meet my husband, and I told him, he said, "Well, I said, "Well, it's not good." I was like, they said I should cancel my trip, and he's like, "If you're going to be dead anyways, go enjoy your trip at Denmark. Like, go." And I said, "Yeah, I'm on the same page." And it's like,
Cool.
because here's the thing, our emotions, they're energy. So if
I would
I
have got
didn't go to
sucked into
Denmark,
that, by the way.
oh
I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie. I would have got sucked into like, oh, I gotta do.
yeah,
Like,
you gotta
now it's funny
now,
because
like, hit the pause button.
pause.
Like, just hit the pause button.
Yeah.
And I think that when we operate from a place of emotion, I don't think we make the best decisions, because fear, I love this, and we learned fear, FEAR, false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
Tell my mom, fear has no place. And our brains love the ending of a story. So the craziest part about any diagnosis, you don't have the end of the story. And you're not going to have the end of the story. And that's a weird place for your brain to live, because we like the end of the story. So we'll go to great measures to get to the end of the story. So surgery, chemo, radiation, all the things. We want to get to the end of the story. I believe I'm fully healed. I don't know when that story ends, but if you'll notice when I talked about the MS stuff, that story's so old I don't even remember names of things, and
Right.
I can't even tell you. So, give yourself enough time and pause. Like, you can move forward in beautiful ways.
Incredible.
Yeah. So I went to Denmark. I'll go there. I did go to Denmark, but I told my husband if I hadn't gone, I would have been disappointed, which is very low energy.
Yeah, energy.
I'd have been frustrated, low energy. I would have been angry, low energy. I would have been really wrapped up in my own head of all this things, which is really draining, low energy. All those things reduce the ability for your immune system to perform beautifully, your mental ability to just move forward and feel good. So we went to Denmark. It was amazing. It was the best 10 days. Yeah.
The best trip
And then when
ever.
I got back, and then
So wait, just because your brain is like, wow, it's amazing.
It is amazing.
No, it's like next level, like amazing. Like, because my
Yeah.
wife's brain is built just like
Yeah.
that. You
So
guys,
there's
like,
a book that
scary,
I
yeah.
recommend to everybody, and I've read it a couple of times, and it's actually, I think what's so interesting too, like, I've worked in missions and worked with churches, and so I've been in like the Christian, and it's amazing to me how your Christian counterparts can look at West as like a holistic medicine as like weird and spiritually like guru-y and like, whatever. And this book is called A Better Way to Think, and it's actually written by a Christian author, but he talks about like how powerful the mind is. And they've actually done studies where they can see someone who, like, on their deathbeds that think positively or think negatively, and like they can actually see in real time, like what positive thinking versus what negative thinking does to the body.
Yeah.
It's wild, isn't
It is
it?
wild.
But anyways, it's a book called Better Way to Think. I think everybody should read it.
And it's funny you bring that up, because as most people know, with my addictions, the opioid addiction that I was on for 8 straight years, the last year and a half, 30 milligram oxys, 6 to 10 a day, just to function. I quit cold turkey, and I was almost 300 pounds. So you want to talk about mind, and dealing, like, multiple doctors told me I should have died from the withdrawal. But now I'm thinking back, and I'm like, wow, my mind is as strong as your mind. You had to beat cancer. I put that I did myself. Cancer came upon you, like, it happened. I did it to myself because I was living in a dark place. And then once I was addicted, again, we go into big pharma, that's what they want. So then you're on to for life. Or you go to heroin, because that's the next step, and then you usually die. Yeah. And then this is what we see, the zombies on the street. And this is like one of those things that, like, at some point, I really would love to be able to build a hospital to help people like that, because I lived it, I saw it. Yeah. But the power of my mind, because there was 2 times where I was laying in bed when I was going through this, where that devil peeped back inside of me and was like, you have the money, go back. Yeah. Go do it again. You can get the pills. You can find it. I had resources. Yeah. It wasn't like, oh, I had to go steal. I didn't have to do any of that shit. And I was just like, I'm not doing it. And I just dealt with the pain.
It would have been easier for me to go to a doctor and just follow the rules. Yeah. You don't have to think about anything. No. And you don't have to take accountability for anything either. Yeah. When you just follow the rules. But whenever I exited the scene, like you're accountable now.
And now it's on you.
Yeah, you're accountable for it. And
I love that.
Yeah, and I had...
Most people don't take accountability.
Well, no, because it feels gross.
Yeah.
Because if you're,
We were just talking about this off the camera. Like, it's like the world we live in, like, in a different way. We weren't talking about accountability, but it came out to be the same thing. Like, I like this small circle of world that I live in now because I'm teaching my kids about accountability. Like, and they need to know about it because I think a lot of times the world we're in today is point the finger, blame somebody else, and then we sue, and then like, what? No. Take responsibility, accountability for the good and the bad. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying you don't deserve the praise when you get it, but we all mess up. We're all going to make decisions. Take responsibility for that too.
I think that when I first started dealing with this, so there's two places that I come from. So first of all, if you'll notice, I've never said my. So accountability, like I took accountability over like how I was going to treat things, like, right, how I was going to move forward with that. But I never took ownership of it. So if you'll notice in our culture and climate, you'll hear people say, my diabetes, my arthritis, my migraines, my cancer, my MS. If you'll notice, never one time have I used that word with any of these other things, because they're not mine. MS was just a diagnosis. Sure. They threw a diagnosis at me. So I had the opportunity then to either wrap my arms around it and call it mine, or just say, okay, this is an imbalance and I want to work through it, and it just be old story, right?
That's a great way.
Right? So that's one way I go through. That's how I went through this. So like, from day one, I'm like, it's not mine. It's just a thing. It's just an event that's taking place, and we got to move forward with it. Wow. Yeah. Your mind's like,
Yeah, I can see, like, I do it all the time. I say mine.
Yeah. So even now when my mom does that to me, I'm like, nope, it's just the. Yeah. The. And every now and then I'll catch myself saying my whatever, But I really, what we speak over our lives is so powerful. So that's just it. So these doctors, when I went through with the stuff, they weren't cheerleaders for Amy. No. They were doing status quo. Oh, this is like really aggressive and bad. Let's feel sorry for you, and so that was what. So first of all, it's not mine. And then I have this beautiful human in my life who has really become one of my best friends. And he was an instructor at at the school that I went to. And when this all first started, I reached out to him. So this gentleman, his name's Thomas, and I sent him an email and I said, hey, I hear that you've retired, because I was trying to find him, and I said, but I don't know if you'd be interested in a project. And so would you be willing to be my practitioner through this? And he wrote me back and he's like, no, I won't be your practitioner. He said, but if you need anything, just reach out to me and I'll be happy to work through things with you. Anything you need, you just reach out to me. And I'm just like, okay. And so he shared this piece of advice to me. He said, in today's climate and culture, the family will rally around you and you're going to be told to fight, and we're going to beat this, and we're going to fight this thing, and we're going to throw on ribbons, and we're going to walk. And he said, don't fight it. He said, when you fight it, it creates conflict inside. You're at war with your own self. It's like, don't fight it. He's like, what are we supposed to learn from it? Let's nourish the body and give the body what it needs, but don't fight it. And from day one, between not taking ownership of this is mine, and being just him sharing with me, like, when you fight, it's internal conflict. I'm not at war with my body. It's just like autoimmune body attacking itself. That puts your own body at war with each other.
It's crazy. And then you see like all these people that do. I don't mean to cut you off, because I think about my dad that I lost from lung cancer, and like I went through chemo, and then I wanted to do something to celebrate his life. So we get involved in the Jimmy V Foundation, and they raise the V Foundation raised billions of dollars, billions, for cancer research, for this or that, and I'm like, everything is like, fight the cancer, fight the. And I'm like, holy cow.
There's a line that we used in school. It's what you fear will appear. And so it's like, it's one of those things, like, if you're autoimmune, it's fighting. Cancer, you're fighting against it. I'm not at war with my body. We are innately designed to heal. When you get a cut on your leg, you don't have to go to great measures for it to scab over and heal. We're innately designed to heal. When you eat something that's, not fit for human consumption, you throw things off. Your body is innately designed to deal with things.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Because I truly believe, and I just said this at the gym today, because I have more muscle mass now than 3 years ago. And again, you want to say, okay, technology is a little bit better. It was only 3 years ago I had this hip done, and then this was a month ago. I had this time around, no bruising. The scar is, the scab is almost completely gone, and I had a little bit of swelling in my ankle. Last time, completely bruised, blood pooled down at my ankle. I just believe, I take no extracurricular, so I was taking weed gummies to sleep. I thought that was part of what I needed to. Wellness, yeah, wellness. There's a wellness store on every corner now. Why? It's a bit. Thank you.
Yeah, there's the word again.
Industry, just like as soon as alcohol was legal, $1 billion industry. So what happens next? Oh, we made weed, that same thing. It's the new industry, which the only reason I guess cocaine isn't legal yet is because we have the cartels that run through our border. Okay, so that's for another podcast,
it's their own
right?
industry. It's a whole other podcast.
But again, once the government gets their hands on it and calls it socially acceptable, now everybody gets paid.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, it's on every street corner. And I'm off of everything. I don't have any. I just take supplements, and my body has healed faster than I can. Yeah. It's amazing.
It's designed to do that.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
And Western medicine has its place. I don't want to. I don't want to be.
Agree.
I don't want to come across anybody that has gone through, done cancer walks, and they wear the F cancer socks. You have to do what's good for you. I'm not saying that everybody has to operate in this way.
I agree.
Sorry, that was my daughter. I'm telling you, everybody's really interested.
But we were talking about how you said that, if people do that, you're not against it. That's how they handle their business.
Everybody has to do what's right for them.
Right.
But I think that culturally we haven't been given another option. When I started doing all this, so when I first went to that appointment, I told my mom from day one, I said, do not share with anybody. I don't want anybody knowing anything until I'm comfortable sharing. So for the first 3 years, I didn't tell anybody in my family, outside of my immediate family and my mom. I didn't tell my aunts, I didn't tell my cousins, I didn't tell anybody, because I didn't want them to be burdened with this thing. Right. And culturally, they always go to worst resort, worst case scenario, oh, she's got breast cancer. Oh, I protected the energy, the speaking, the thoughts. I kept as much negative things out of the story from day one, because I knew that if I had someone at home or friend telling a friend, I'd be like, oh, did you hear? oh, she's got this.
Yeah.
I just didn't want anybody speaking that over me at all. So from day one, I didn't share with anybody except for my immediate family. Like my husband and my kids knew what was going on, and my mom. And I did call my grandmother because I knew she'd be unhappy if she found out down the road and I didn't share with her, because she's a beautiful prayer warrior. Like, she's not with us anymore, but she was, such a champion for me. And I think going through the MS stuff first, just seeing Joan, her reaction to me asking, can I get well, versus the doctor that told me I was lucky. I've learned to surround myself with people that will champion Amy, right? So Thomas speaks life into Amy. Joan speaks life into Amy. Michael Payne spoke life into Amy. These were people that spoke life into my world. Like, they knew I could get better. They knew we had the tools and resources to work through things. And even if I didn't necessarily get better, it's okay. We're all terminal.
Right.
Can we just get that on the table?
Serious.
We're all terminal, 100%. We're all going to do it, 100%.
Yeah. No matter
And
what.
so when you just, I think that's what people are so afraid of, is this idea of being terminal. We're terminal from the time we come out of the womb. Like, so we're all just walking towards that. Now, I want to be old, and I want to watch my kids grow up, and I want to watch them get married and have babies, and that stuff's all so important to me. But I also know that I'm not in control. You're not in control. My brother died at 17. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He's a passenger in a car. He didn't do anything wrong. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, to end up with a cancer diagnosis, like, it's just a thing. It's just something that we have to walk through and work through. And I don't ever want to not, share the faith piece in this.
That's huge.
I knew from day one that God is in control.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that life's easy. And I just think about, so like in the scripture, you have Job that was so faithful to who God was.
Greatest
It didn't mean he wasn't angry. It shows in there, like, he was wrestling, right?
Yeah.
You have Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You have Daniel in the lion's den. You have Jonah in the well. Whether we believe he actually got swallowed up by a whale or not, that's not what I'm getting at, but he endured, right? The Israelites walking around. They endured. Those were faith-building events. It wasn't punishment. It was faith-building. So this cancer thing, this imbalance, it's not punishment. It's a faith-building opportunity. And I can honestly say, I wouldn't change anything.
Interesting, because did your faith get stronger, or did you lose?
Oh, way stronger.
Way.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You want to talk about a selfish person, myself, and what you just went through? And I lost my faith based off of not getting drafted in baseball. Like, talk about, and then it took me this long to get him back into my life. Thank God. Thank you for allowing me. In all the things I did wrong, that you, instead of me going that route, I went the complete opposite route. And it took me down a path. Like, again, I always thought that money was going to cure everything for me, and money doesn't, obviously, doesn't create happiness. And I was one of the most unhappy people in the world. I've never been happier in my life right now, with a lot less shit.
Yeah.
A lot less shit.
It's a lot less to manage and take care of.
Yeah, but
my faith, absolutely, it is stronger, but it doesn't mean I didn't wrestle.
Yeah.
I endured. So the first 3 years, so you got to bear in mind, this started at 2019. I was doing all kinds of wild stuff, like light treatments and colon hydrotherapy, and acupuncture. I was doing every lymphatic drainage, like massages. I can't even remember. I tried everything. And then COVID hit, and all the things that I was doing was deemed not a necessity, because it was massages and whatever. So then it was like,
yeah, because nobody wanted to touch anybody, and the stupid virus. And
so I was like, okay, like, what do you do with that? So it was a bumpy few years. I mean, and so I entered into everything with risk-reward mentality, right? I can go to the doctor at any point. I can do chemo at any point. I can do radiation at any point. I can have them remove my breasts at any point. There is potentially reward there, but the risk outweighed the reward for me over here because of what I had learned and what I believed to be true. And I've watched beautiful people who have done everything right in the Western arena. I mean, I've buried like 3 or 4 very close people in the last 5 or 6 years, 2 cancer scenarios that did everything medically right. And you know, that's just such a hard thing to watch because they took the risk and their reward wasn't what they hoped, right? But God's still in control, like in that. Like for me, it's a risk reward. So it was risky not following through with the doctors, but the reward I had was,
especially the world we live in.
Oh, culturally, yeah.
Culturally.
Yeah. I had 2 very angry teenagers.
Oh man, they must have wanted to like.
I mean, they were like, why don't you just go and just do chemo, Mom? And I'm like, because I believe that will cause more harm than good for me.
Talk
That's
about teenagers trying to wrap their head around that.
And they're
answer.
just like, you're crazy. And I'm like, maybe just a little bit. Like, but the truth is, I had a beautiful foundation that I had learned that my body's designed to heal and it is designed to carry me. And so there's an imbalance, period, the end. So how do we navigate the imbalance? Does it mean I'm going to come out of this on top? I don't know, but I'm sure going to give it a shot. Like, why not, right? So the first 3 years was just holistic care. We moved from North Carolina to Florida. I was going to an acupuncturist for 2 years solely. That was the only thing I did for the first 2 years here. It was very well known. And
a question.
Yeah.
So this period of time, like, has the cancer gotten, do you even know if it's gotten worse?
Okay, so yeah, so when it first started, this left breast was like swollen, it had a little lump in it. And then over time, I don't even know how to, I don't even remember necessarily the changes. I just know it changed. Does that make sense? It's like when you see somebody that's lost weight, like they don't realize how much they've lost, but you're like, whoa, you know, like if I had taken pictures from day one till, which I do have some pictures of, I do have pictures of day one and then when I ended up in the hospital, yeah, the changes were drastic. And so things were shifting. I started getting some little spots like on the rib cage area here, almost like in a daisy pattern. I remember it's just like in a daisy. It was like little red, like just dots, and it had like, it looked like a flower. It was like, I was like, that's the weirdest thing. So I was telling this acupuncturist, like, you know, if you think I need other care, like, that's fine. But this guy was very well known for cancer care and people getting well. It wasn't like this not reputable person, right? And he ended up getting arrested for things, for videoing female patients, and I lost my treatment again. So this was, and I was like, oh man. So I had found this gentleman, I won't say his name, but
can I ask you this?
Absolutely.
Again, I go back to the faith part. Like, did you drop to your knees and be like, "What? How many times are you going to do this?"
Well,
for me?
I mean, so
like,
wrestling always. There's always wrestling. But
Yeah.
here's the deal: that door closing opened the door for these new people to come in, and my story has gotten better and better and better.
Yeah, true.
My time with him was just over.
Yeah.
That first lady I went to with the MS stuff that did the muscle testing, that I was like, "Are you hearing voices?" She was so amazing. I went to her for about 6-8 months, a year almost. She's amazing. And then she got into some weird stuff. And it was just like, the Lord was just like, your time with her is done. She's not your healer. I'm your healer. I'm giving you the tools and resources with people here. They're not your healer. I'm your healer. When you lead, it's almost like when I leaned into someone too much, they just got pulled out from under me every time. It's like, nope, you're not going to depend on that person for healing. I'm your healer. This is a tool and a resource.
Wow.
I mean, yeah. We've had a lot of conversations, God and I. I mean, it's
I
just true,
believe,
right?
yeah, no, it's like
But
'cause
the truth is, she was. So I
did
love
it the
this.
other night. I was like, when are you gonna stop?
I was at there's a church here that I was visiting, and the pastor had used this phrasing of, this is like solving a jigsaw puzzle without the top of the box. And it was like, that was the most beautiful representation of this health walk and everything I've gone through. It's like solving a jigsaw puzzle without the top of the box. I don't know what the end picture is going to be, but man, it's going to be beautiful. And every person that's come into my life has been little pieces of the puzzle that click together. And as the new things come in, I'm like, is this the next puzzle piece? Is this going to be the piece that gets me closer to that beautiful, beautiful picture, Yeah.
Amazing.
Right?
That's incredible. I'm actually it's really hard for me to be speechless. I don't really, that doesn't happen to
no,
me.
I just tease it.
No, yeah, no, seriously,
Yeah.
And not the, just so everybody knows, she is a baker at the bakery.
I
we
make
don't have
bread.
She
After
makes
being
bread.
totally
And by the way,
squeaky
she's
clean.
awesome at it, by the way, just so you know. And we eat a lot of their bread because it's sourdough, so it's great for your gut.
But it makes me laugh because it's squeaky clean paleo for years, and now I make bread every day.
And now you make bread.
It's really dumb.
Yeah.
But my ears are kind of itchy from the flour, so I don't think my body really loves the flour all that much.
I know.
But I enjoy the
But
process.
how deep this is and how strong-willed you are in your faith. And I say this all the time, there's a reason why we were supposed to come together and do this, but also meet. It's incredible. I'm usually not speechless, and I'm almost speechless because your story is truly amazing.
I haven't even gotten to the hospital yet.
I know. The story's truly, I have to
That's
say
funny.
it out loud because it's truly amazing.
Yeah.
This needs to touch people's lives. This story here should go viral and touch people's lives.
Well, thank you. It's funny. I was just talking. I had acupuncture today, and I was talking to her about, wanting to feel even better, and she just laughed. She's like, "You don't realize how far you go." So she's right. I don't. Sometimes I can't place what it looks like to people outside because I've just been there from day one, and it's just been one day at a time, and it's one choice at a time, and it's risk reward. And there were times my family was looking at me like this isn't looking good, but I just had to.
Now I got to bring up your husband because I haven't met him yet, but I can't wait to. But I mean, he seems like a strong-willed guy. He seems like somebody that I'm going to get along with. But every step of the way has been behind you. Yeah. So was there any pushback and be like, babe, you can't?
Other than I could have bought a Corvette. But no, I think my husband, he's one of those that carries the weight of the world silently. He really, he doesn't. Yeah, but man, he's a good one. Yeah. Sorry, that made me weepy.
No, I'm blessed that my wife's. Yeah.
I will say, I've been kind of a wild card from day one. But he is, I tell people, how when you buy a batch of balloons and they're in the helium and you have to buy that little anchor, to hold all that stuff together to keep it from flying away. He's my anchor, right? So I'm like the helium balloon, flapping out the door.
That's why you guys work so well together.
He just kind of like, girl, come back down.
Yeah. Bless.
But he has been, I don't want it's not supportive yeah babe I'm really proud of you. It's just like that's okay, you do what you need to do to
just like he said, go on the trip.
Yeah, just go on the trip. We kind of have a little bit of dark humor at our house. He's it's if you're gonna be dead you might as well go to Denmark. And I'm like I like how you roll, let's do this thing. He just looked at me, he's like, you've been planning this for years, why would you not go? And I'm like, yeah, Truth. But risk reward, right?
But
some
again,
people would have given up the
just
trip.
Make it simplify to that right there.
Yeah.
It's you've been planning this. Why wouldn't?
Why would you not?
And I don't know if I would have been. I don't know if I would have been.
That trip was the most healing thing I have ever done. It was just it was the hug that I needed in that moment. It got my mind out.
Did you tell your friend?
Yeah.
I was gonna wonder.
So I told my girlfriend. I met her at the Philadelphia airport. We two of us met, and then we flew into Denmark. And when I got there, I did share. well, it's funny. I just shared with them, like, yeah, I don't know what this is going to look like, but I'm just dealing with it. Just pray for me. And they were like, we love you. And we just had a good trip. It was not the center of the trip, which is that not like the most healing thing on the planet?
The best.
I mean, I got to see all of Denmark. It's not, my daughter had made me a little bracelet and it said DENMARK is how Americans would spell it.
Yeah.
And I got there and Hayla's like, no, like it's DA. Like they're gonna know you're a tourist. And I'm like, okay, girl, like sorry. It's like I'll have to tell Avery. Like, no, but that's what healing looks like, right? Like getting outside of this. Oh, we get so consumed with the what ifs, and I don't know. I still like I don't know. Like
Right.
I don't know. Like it's okay to not know and to just move forward day at a time.
And that's like I've kind of taken on that role too with like life in general. Like
So yeah, I call him my 70-year-old best friend. He's actually, it was Thomas that was the guy that told me not to fight. So we email a lot. Like he's kind of become a pen pal of mine. And I went out to see him and his wife. They live over in West Palm. And anyways, but he tells me all the time, he's like, Amy, like, because I'll say, well, I'm trying to do this. And, and he's like, we're not human doings or human tryings. We're human beings. Just be. Just be. Just stop. Like, stop trying, stop doing, just be.
just be.
And that has profoundly changed my life in the best of ways. But I wrestled with that one. I'm a bit of a busy brain.
Me too. It doesn't shut off. That's interesting. That's what I always say, and I say this in the podcast all the time. Because I lived this. I think a lot of people lived it. I said, when you live in the past, you live in anger. When you live in the future, you live in fear. And we don't find time to live in the moment.
I mean, this was really all we got. Like, is it? Just be.
And that's living in the moment. And the more I've done that over the last, I've really worked hard on it over the last year, but like really, really recently, like even the situation with Ty that I told you with the shoulder, and I'm in such a better place that like, it's gonna be okay.
Everything works out.
It's gonna be okay.
I actually just read something, my mom sent it to me, and it was talking about how, because people say, well, why didn't God heal me? Well, the ultimate healing is being with him. And I'm like,
Yeah.
so they said, well, why did someone get healed from it, but I didn't? And I loved that they used this phrasing. It was like, it's temporary healing.
Truth.
And I love that because then it takes all this pressure off. Like the reality is healing here in this world is temporary. It's finite. Like, I mean, I've walked through the MS piece and I am healed and I restored and beautifully walking out life without any intervention in that arena. And here I am now with this thing that I'm walking through beautifully, healed, a little bit of help here and there. We just walk it out and it's okay. Like everything just works out. And the ultimate healing is being with him.
Yeah, that's the end game.
I love that. I thought that just takes all the pressure off.
Once you realize that, and again, not to like, I mean, go deep into like talk about death, but like I've never been, I guess maybe this is one of the reasons why I've pushed things to limits, because I don't really fear dying. But now, like having God in my life and knowing that that's going to be the ultimate, we're here for a short time.
I just think like, why not talk about death? I mean, like, like when they say stage 4, like people shudder. Yeah. That's terminal.
I did
like,
that.
All terminal.
I did that with my dad. I had no clue though.
Like,
I was so young and I didn't know.
mean,
And I was like, "This is my dad. He's a warrior, hero. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way he's dying."
Yeah.
Like, and I was like,
100%. We're all going to do it.
"Yeah."
Yeah. I think that we've made it such a. My granny always told me. She said, "Honey, we're just spiritual beings having a human experience. We're not ever intended to do this or forever. Yeah. Just spiritual beings having a human experience." And I mean,
that's truth. I mean, even with technology and even everything that you can possibly do, I mean, no one's lived to be 200.
I don't want to be
I
honest.
I
No,
know.
I'm just teasing.
I know. I know. Actually, it would be kind of cool if we could see what happens another 100 years from now to see what things are about. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
if I could be in the best shape, like if you could keep me in the.
I mean, it's not about the being old. Listen, I am 45 now. I got gray hair and wrinkles, and I own them proudly. And when I had my birthday, I'm amazed at women who shudder at like, oh, like I just turned 50. Oh, I just turned 45. Oh, I just turned 30. How lucky am I?
Serious.
How lucky am I? I have women in my life that would have loved to have turned 45. How lucky am I? How lucky am I to get to experience some gray hair?
Serious.
How lucky am I that I've laughed enough that I got some wrinkles from it? Like, I'm not Botoxing and hiding and chipping. How lucky am I? Right.
That is true. We get so caught up in the materialistic, the what everybody else thinks, and instead of just feeling that we're lucky.
How lucky am I?
Yeah.
I mean,
Simple as that.
yeah. I mean, there were a couple of years there where, like, they didn't voice this to me because, you know, when you're going through stuff and you're the person that's the center of like the uncertainty, you know, but I didn't know, but my kids had shared with my mom, like, they didn't think that I was going to get to see them graduate. And I've watched both of them graduate, and it's good, you know. I mean, but there was uncertainty in those times, and so how lucky am I? Yeah, so the first 3 years, like I said, I exited the Western medical arena. Just really, honestly, I was just protecting myself from all the crazy that I endured. I forgot to tell you, the family doctor, when I went back to him, and so this was right after all the diagnostic stuff, and told him that I wasn't moving forward with anything, he literally said to me, he's like, "You're not qualified to make medical decisions." And I was like, "See you later." So I fired him. Yeah, and then he actually reached back out and sent me a letter, like, "I'm very concerned about you." And I'm like, like, you're not concerned about me, or you would have listened to me when I was trying to share with you, like, where I was at. Like, because the reality is, had any of them behaved differently, I probably would have moved forward with biopsies. I probably would have moved forward with some other diagnostic testing. I'm not saying that I would have let them cut. I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. But their energy and behavior alone shifted me away from any of those resources, which that is a conversation that needs to be had in the medical arena.
I agree.
Like, right?
I agree.
Because it's not that I was anti any of those things, but their behavior at that time, I knew that was death for me.
Yeah.
When they walked me from that room all sad and like forlorn and like, oh, we're so, I was like, this is not, there was nothing life-giving in that. Right. Now imagine someone that didn't have the luxury of having years of navigating the MS stuff, right? And learning that, you know, about our thinking and emotional thing. Like, I really did a lot of work over those 10 years, right?
It's almost like God prepared you for this moment.
Absolutely. So imagine if I didn't have that and they had, what were they planting? Fear, uncertainty, I mean, a whole host of things, right? Yeah. And I think that's why most women, culturally, we deem these diagnoses as a death sentence because the behavior wrapped around it. It's ridiculous. Like, it just really is, it's just ridiculous. There's no reason for it. Where they could have said, listen, like, there's something going on, but we have amazing resources and tools, and we're going to get some answers, and we got you. Like, we're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they just started out that way? And I'm sure there are some people out there in the arena that do that. I'm not saying all doctors do it.
And that's why we go why we go to Dr. Blend and the Blend Institute and give them a shot, because he's actually going to come on the podcast in no time. But like, he's one of the only doctors that I've ever been to where he listens, especially with my wife, because she's like you. She reads and then she goes deeper, and then she reads more, and he will listen and allow us to make our decisions. And he may not agree with us. Yeah. And he'll let us try it our way. Yeah. And then if it doesn't work, then we come back to him and say, okay, now most doctors that like
Yeah, see ya.
This my
I've just
way or
gotten
the
really
highway.
good at like, if you're not going to speak life over me, you have no business in my medical care.
See,